Hey everybody, it's Abhishek Prakash here, or Mr. Geopolitics. The world is holding its breath after Trump put tariffs on Canada and Mexico, which were supposed to go into effect on February 4th, and put the entire North American region up in the air. Then Trump paused the tariffs and gave both countries 30 days to meet certain conditions. This has changed the dynamics of North America. A new era of North American reintegration has begun, and the old North America, full of economic integration and unity, is gone. A new design of North America is now emerging. But while everybody is shocked by the tariffs may be just the beginning of what Trump is planning. In order to understand what comes next, global executives have to know where Trump is coming from, how Trump is thinking about the world stage, and about specific challenges facing America. Only then can there be clarity on what comes next. So there's five specific reasons why Trump's tariffs are just the beginning, five key indicators and key areas that will illuminate how Trump is thinking and therefore how America is thinking vis-a-vis its relationship with the entire world. So let's jump right in. The first reason is America's geostrategy has completely shifted. There was a time when the US stood by what it built, which it's been building since the end of World War II. The economic engine of the world was built, nurtured, and advanced by America. The global foundation and architecture that the world stands on was built by America after World War II, by generations of Americans. And for decades now, America has sought to support this architecture and sought to reinforce it. But now, this is no longer the case. The new US geostrategy is to walk away from what America built over the course of decades, because in the US mind, in the US perspective, this architecture, this wiring, this US world order is no longer working in America's interest. And one of the biggest reasons why is because US adversaries are now dominating key parts of this architecture. Free trade is now dominated by China. Institutions like the UN have tremendous influence by US adversaries. So America is walking away from this structure, and in doing so is about to unleash all kinds of massive changes on the world that go well beyond just tariffs. The second reason is that the new growth sectors in America no longer rely the US to go to other nations. For decades, America went to Saudi Arabia to get energy. American energy security depended on another nation. But now America wants its own economic security, its own national security, its own supply of critical goods to come from within America's borders. And as America looks inward for what it needs, it no longer will rely on the rest of the world to supply the US. And this changes then how America approaches its relationships, what relationships America considers important, how America justifies certain alliances and expenditures, and how America deals with all kinds of countries, including governments who have stood shoulder to shoulder with America for decades. And this is why a lot of nations are very surprised at what America is doing, because in their worldview, America should be supporting the very foundation that it built. But now, when America can get what it needs locally, what it once needed globally, the American way of doing business, the American approach to geopolitics fundamentally changes. And as America thinks this way, it will go beyond tariffs, because tariffs are not the end of the road to achieve these goals of getting what America needs from within its borders. The third reason is that America first is the governing paradigm of Trump. But at the core of America first is getting other nations to put America first. And that's quite strange and ironic, because America first is presented as solely about America. But in reality, for America first to be a success, from creating jobs, from energy security, from defense, and not being, as Trump says, taken advantage by other governments. For all of this to occur, other governments have to put America above and beyond their own specific interests. And this is not likely to happen. Other nations, including those in the West, are not going to put America's wants over their own unless America raises the heat to such unprecedented levels, which could be on the horizon. So what is going to happen is America will want nations to put America first, but others are going to put themselves first, whether it's Europe first, whether it's Canada first, whether it's India first, or whether it's entire regions banding together like Southeast Asia to deal with what Trump is doing. So America first is going to ricochet back and boomerang back as Trump realizes other governments are not going to play ball in this way. The fourth reason is that China is not going to back down. China is no longer where it was. And while America may be approaching the rivalry with China from the position of tariffs, China is not coming into this fight just with tariffs. This is like bringing a knife to a gunfight. China is coming to this fight armed with a range of measures, a range of ways that Beijing can respond. And China has been changing its tone in the past 6 months. Chinese industry associations have been calling American chips unsafe. China has banned the export of critical metals. China has banned the export of rare earth processing technologies. The Chinese national security laws have resulted in American corporations, their offices being raided within China. All of this is a sign that China is no longer biting its tongue. China is ready to collide with America. And this is going to require America to go well beyond tariffs to counter what China does. And a big part of China's strategy is to wait for America to collide with the whole world. Because if America is colliding with Canada, Mexico, the EU, and parts of Asia like Japan, then China is unlikely to meet Trump's conditions. China is likely to ratchet up the pressure on America and see if America bends to what China wants. So a new dance is taking place between the US and China. And the last reason why Trump's tariffs are just the beginning is that on certain geopolitical matters, tariffs just won't do the job. Russia, for example, where Trump has threatened tariffs on Russia in order to bring Russia to the negotiating table and end the Ukraine war, the reality is US-Russia trade is negligible. Or the situation with Iran. Iran is very close to getting a nuclear weapon. Tariffs are not going to stop Iran because Iran doesn't trade with much of the world because of sanctions. So on these matters, Trump can't use sanctions, and these are some of the most pivotal geopolitical challenges that will affect Trump over the next 4 years, and tariffs won't do the trick. Tariffs won't solve them. So Trump will have to enter these flashpoints armed with a different set of geopolitical measures, as these nations have already in many ways distanced themselves from the US, reoriented themselves towards Eurasia or Asia in particular, and are no longer dependent on the US as they may have been just a short time ago. So these are 5 key reasons why Trump's tariffs are just the beginning. Again, in order to understand what comes next out of the US, one has to understand where Trump's mind is, the new US psyche, and how Trump is thinking about the world. I hope you resonated with today's insight. Leave your comments below and talk soon.